1002, 1003, and so on until I tell you to stop. If for some reason you have to put your foot down, pick your foot right back up and continue counting. Do you understand? It's going to look something like this. Watch me, okay? Just like this. Arms down to your side, legs straight. Do you have any questions? Go ahead and begin the test.
1001, 1002, 1003, 1004. Should I start over?
Go ahead and continue where you left off.
1005, 1006, 1007, 1008.
Okay, that's good right there. How much alcohol have you had to drink today?
Huh?
How much alcohol have you had to drink today?
A few.
I know there's a substance in the pill bottle. Can you tell me what the substance is?
Xanax.
Xanax? Did you take any of those Xanax today?
Yes.
Okay. You're clearly under the influence of controlled substance and alcohol, right? We're placing you under arrest. Turn around. Face your car. Face your car. Separate your feet. Separate your feet. Wider. Wider. In forward the waist. You're being placed under arrest for driving under the influence of alcohol, causing death or substantial bodily harm. Come over here and walk into my car.
Okay, so now she's under arrest. He's going to be taking her to jail. I don't know if she will do breath or blood. She will ultimately have to submit to one of those tests. And it's pretty standard procedure that now we will call the coroner's office to come investigate the patient who is deceased here on scene. So our coroner is going to be arriving here shortly to start their portion of this investigation. And this young lady who is now deceased will be transported to the coroner's office for an examination to determine exactly what the cause of death for her was. You can see the officer here is picking up the evidence. It will ultimately be impounded and used in court when this case finally does go to court. Okay, so, and you see this officer out here with the clipboard. He's going to be taking measurements. He'll ultimately do a diagram that, again, will also be used as evidence in court to show exactly how this accident happened and where the cars were. It'll completely document the scene. There'll be photos.
Okay. Okay, if we can just start with overalls around the cars, the 16-point cars. The coroner should be just a second.
And you see our crime scene investigators out here with him. He's going to be the one taking all these photos. And then our photos get uploaded into a digital evidence system where our city attorneys and district attorneys have access to that so they can have the photos to help. You can see the coroner's just arrived on scene in that white SUV, and she'll begin her investigation while they're doing this traffic accident investigation. The officers are working with the vehicles and working to diagram the scene and document the scene. The coroner that just arrived is going to be more concerned with, obviously, the body and getting that body transported to her office down at the coroner's office so they can have a medical examination of her body.
All right, just confirm my drivers. The deceased was on the hood. My DUI driver was in which vehicle? Okay. And I have one other passenger. Okay.
you can see the coroners also taking photographs that will be used in their investigation and their documentation of this accident. All right, as you can see, just like our crime scene investigator, taking photos completely all the way around, so we can show the scene is exactly as it was, 360 degrees. The photos for both of those are going all the way around, and then the coroner will start her investigation on our deceased, while the officers continue the investigation into the vehicles and how this accident happened.
Morning. Okay, what do we have today? What's our case number? 16-662. What's the initial time of call for this? 10:02. Okay, I saw the paramedic units already got them. How many people were involved?
Looks like we have 4 involved total. Driver of the SUV here was just arrested for felony DUI. We have our right front passenger, went through the windshield, was under the hood. Our driver of this vehicle was transported with life-threatening injuries. We're still getting an update on that.
Okay.
And we have rear passenger, this rear passenger of this vehicle with not sure the injuries on that one. It's 1 passenger.
Okay. So we have 1 minor injured, and then the driver here, we don't know what injuries yet. Where were they taken?
Driver was taking the Sunrise on this one, life to life, serious injuries, life-threatening injuries. We have 1 deceased that was in went over the hood, and then 1 right rear passenger. I don't know the injuries on that one.
Okay. Do we have seatbelts involved on anybody?
I don't believe any of them were wearing seatbelts. They're not locked.
Okay. Do we have speed as a factor?
Speed's a factor. Slap factor, DUI, depth factor.
Okay, is it, when you say DUI, is it drugs, alcohol, what do we have?
I believe they recovered on scene both.
Okay, cool. Since we're right in front of the school, do we believe by the ages of them they're related to the school?
We had 4 of them. Cool.
All 4 go to the school? Okay.
Yes.
Do we have a possible name for her?
This is Haley Atkin. I believe she's 16. I haven't got a birth date on her yet.
Okay, no problem. And so the school's been contacted to give us family information?
Yes.
Okay.
They're contacting the parents now. Some going to the hospital, some.
Absolutely. Okay, if the parents do arrive on scene, please get the chaplain with them as soon as possible, and then I'll come over and talk with them.
You got it.
Okay, and so since it's felony prosecution, you'll be there for exam, or one of you guys tomorrow morning? Okay.
The autopsy.
Forensics contact you first thing. Hello. Do you have your overalls done? Okay. Terrific.
All right, the coroner's going to start her investigation here of the body. Then they will contact the mortuary. We will come transport her body to the coroner's office for medical examination.
The lacerations to the left side of her face. I do have embedded into the right side of her neck. Throat. Lacerations along the left side of her head. I do have some crevice. Her skull is cracked. It's coming to brain matter though, so that's good. Throat was slashed. And through the windshield. Left shoulder's broken. And left elbow, both of hips are intact. Further examination office. Danny, can I get you to open my notebook for a toe tag? Have one right there on the side. Thank you.
And I don't know if you guys could see the coroner removing the shoe. Just like you see in the movies, they do put a toe tag on a deceased victim. And that's how they keep track of her at the office when they get down there, because unfortunately, there's more people than just this young lady who have died and had to been transported to the coroner's office for an examination. Generally, when our traffic investigators come out for a fatal traffic accident, they will be out here for several hours. It takes quite a while to diagram, photograph, do a lot of the things that we're doing here in less than an hour. But you'll see a road blocked off for several hours during the investigation. This is definitely a time-consuming moment. We certainly want to have all of our facts straight when this case goes to court. Once they transport her, like I said, they'll ultimately end up finishing all the diagramming, all the investigation, and then we'll have tow trucks come in here and they will clean this mess, glass and the roof and all the stuff that got left by the firefighters who got the patients out of the car. This is very common practice where the deceased will be wrapped in this sheet and then placed into this blue body bag for transport. That helps keep all the evidence from her body with her body. I don't know if you can see the two gentlemen in the white shirts here are some of our police chaplains. They're talking to the deceased parents, trying to give them some information on what happens, where their daughter's body is going to be going. They're going to have to go down to the coroner's office and positively identify her body as their daughter.
Okay.
So unfortunately, our mics weren't working, but the parents here on scene had to just identify their daughter so that the coroner knew who they were going to be doing an examination on when they got her to their office. And now the investigation just continues. You can see additional photographs being taken. You'll see the motor officers, on a regular scene would be doing measurements and a lot of different things so that when they all right, so that is the basics for our scene. And I think this is going to be turned over now to your Ms. Knightley, Assistant Principal.
Thank you. Haley was taken suddenly away from us on Thursday, March 10th, 2015, by a drunk driver. She was 18 years old and full of life. Haley was a senior at Basic Academy where she played varsity volleyball. She worked for the city of Henderson as a safety aide where all the kids adored her. Her favorite times were spent next to a campfire or on a beach waiting for a Hawaiian sunset. Her plans after high school were to attend Southern Utah University and get a criminal justice degree, but her life was cut short by someone's decision to drive drunk. Haley is survived by her parents Chad and Heather and little brother Mason. She was our world and will be deeply missed. Unfortunately, we have also received news that Dustin Kenneth Hall has succumbed to his injuries on the way to Sunrise Hospital. Dustin Hall passed away on March 10th unexpectedly in a car accident in Henderson, Nevada. He lived 17 short years and was such a joy to those who knew him. Dustin was a Basic Academy senior, active in track, student council, and ski and snowboard club. Dustin always had a smile and a joke for those who needed it. He was a giving person who liked to help others and was a good student who hoped to go to college to pursue a business degree next year. Dustin loved riding his motorcycle, snowboarding, and spending time with his friends and family. He will be greatly missed. Dustin is preceded in death by his father, Kenneth Hall, and is survived by his mother, Renee Erno, dad, Rick Erno, and siblings, Caitlin, Bryce, and grandparents, Helen and Norm Bubenheim, and Joyce Clark. Donations can be made to the Wounded Warriors of America. Services to be scheduled. I'd like to thank everybody involved today in this crash scene. I think it's a lesson for all of us to kind of take in. No matter we know how much we know these youngsters, or if we don't know them at all, I want you to take one thing away from this, that it can happen very quickly. Very, very quickly. Think about it with our upcoming events, Disneyland, graduation, prom. Okay, a split second can change everything, absolutely everything. I want to thank all the parents for coming down today. And as you exit today, you'll be heading back to 6th hour. Should you need anything, there are counselors available, as always. Okay, we're heading back to 6th period, so 8th period, I'm sorry, thank you very much. Is it an odd day? It is an odd day, isn't it? 5th period, thank you guys, I appreciate it. I knew you'd set me straight eventually. Make sure you take your trash with you as you